All right, so hello everyone. My name is Taylor Remington. I am a project coordinator with Recycling Connections. So those of you who don't know, Recycling Connections is a 501c3 nonprofit. And we were established in the 80s. We are supported through service contracts, grants, product sales, and donations. And our mission is to connect people, resources, and communities to promote waste reduction, reuse, recycling, and resource conservation. So today I'm going to be talking about our compost bin group purchase program and how you can reduce food waste going to the landfill in your community. So just all right, so this is just a slide showing what we're going to be covering today. And I'm going to be covering the increased interest in managing food waste in the U.S., how backyard composting can help with that. I'm going to be talking about our bin program and the increased interest in home gardening and composting, and how Minnesota and other communities have found success through promoting backyard composting, and then opportunities for your own sale with bin sales, pails, and a pre-sale. All right, so this slide here is just a graphic from the EPA. So it's showing that since the 1960s, waste has increased per pound per person per day. It's a good thing that recycling has increased so that we are able to use those resources, but landfills are also on the rise, food waste being a large part of the problem. If you can see this little gray spike down here, this is where food management kind of starts to come into the picture, starting in 2017 data there. All right, so this is sort of a more relevant graphic from the EPA on organics management. So the total municipal solid waste composted was 25 million tons from the years 2012 through 2017. And this included approximately 22.3 million tons of yard trimmings, which is more than a five-fold increase since 1990, and 2.6 million tons of food waste, which is a 4.1% of the wasted food generated. And other methods of food management were estimated for the first time in 2018. In 2018, 17.7 million tons of food, which is 28.1% of wasted food generated, was managed through various things like animal feed, co-digestion, anaerobic digestion, bio-based materials, biochemical processing, donation, land application, and then sewer and wastewater treatment. So this is data from the Institute for Local Self-Reliance. So the ILSR advocates for establishing small-scale and decentralized composting systems rather than larger industrial-scale facilities. That's a lot of food waste that could be diverted from the landfill. And if all we, if we all just do our part through backyard composting, if we cut out that middleman, so a disposal service or industrial composter for organic management, a lot of money could be saved, and we also could gain this nutrient-rich soil amendment for gardening in everyone's backyard and revitalizing the soil composition. This is the EPA's food recovery hierarchy. So this just shows the most preferred to least preferred methods for recovering food, regarding if it's still edible versus when it's not, and the best waste management for that food waste. And then just various benefits of composting for soil fertility and structure, reducing the amount of erosion, runoff, and flooding, saving money, and helping the environment ultimately. And then here's some more benefits of composting. This is a revised waste management hierarchy from the Institute of Local Self-Reliance again. So home composting, the big takeaway here, is in the top 3 tiers of this graph. And the big takeaway is that if we reduce the need for this middleman, again, to take away this organic material, we're controlling taking control of our own waste and reducing truck emissions, the need to pay someone to manage this waste. So in landfills, food waste is anaerobically digested because of the lack of oxygen. So as a result, methane is produced, and this is a greenhouse gas that has to be either burned off or managed in another form. And some landfills have energy recovery systems in place, but not all do. Depending on where you are located, that might change too. And then these are just some other benefits of composting, reducing the need to burn fuel and garbage trucks and reducing that wasting space in the landfill. Just giving you a constant resource for gardening, increasing your self-reliance, and reducing your impact of climate change to store carbon in the soil. All right, so just a little bit of background about Recycling Connections, who we are, what we do. So we are a nonprofit organization based out of Stevens Point, Wisconsin, and we want to invite you to share in this unique opportunity. Our organization's roots started out as a community curbside recycling pickup service, actually, in 1981. And we eventually shifted toward providing education and outreach services for the solid waste industry leaders in our area, once municipalities kind of started to pick up those services. So for almost 25 years, since 1998, we have coordinated a group purchase of compost bins, specifically the Home Composter, for local compost bin sales. And this offer is only available to municipalities, government entities, schools, or other nonprofit organizations. And then we refer to those as those people as our partnering groups or partnering communities for each year's purchase. And this is kind of just a little news article that shows you us in the news back when we first got our start. So kind of fun. So this is just kind of showing you some details about our compost bin and our goal of our program to meet waste reduction, climate, or other sustainability goals by promoting composting in the backyard. So this compost bin, we absolutely love it. It is 100% made out of recycled plastic, post-consumer and industrial material made in North America. It is not available in retail stores, and it has 128 gallon capacity. So it can hold a lot of yard material when compared to other bins, which I do have on my next slide. This is kind of our comparison with the other bins on the market. I think these bins are typically sold retail also. Just kind of our own little, comparison sheet to show you that our capacity for the Home Composter is quite a bit larger than the other ones out there. We do have a locking latch on top compared to the other types of lids for other bins on the market. And then it has 2 doors, so you can get your compost, finished compost out easily once it's complete. It's made out of the 100% recycled material, like I said, and it comes apart in 2 halves. So it's like 2 half moon shaped side panels. So you can take them apart and then, easily turn your compost as needed with a wide top opening for accessing your materials and managing it. And also it has a lot of airflow vents along the sides. You can kind of see little thatched holes on the sides too. So this is kind of the meat of our program. So Recycling Connections wants this compost bin program to be successful for every community that participates. Each community that we work with does their program a little differently to meet their own individual needs. So for the pallet order minimum for our bin program, it's 54 bins, 3 pallet minimum per delivery location. And then the price point is set based on the total group order. So this is a group purchase in that the more bins sold as the entire group collectively, the lower the bin purchase price for each person involved. So we try to keep the same bin pricing each year since we started, and we've been successful in doing that since we started the bin purchase program and keeping that price point down to $50 to $55 per bin. We do also try to get the bins out to communities by Earth Day, which is this year on April 22nd, which is a Saturday, just in time for spring sales. So if you wanted to coordinate that with a spring tree plant or seedling sale or a pickup event, say for like a local farmers market. And then these options could help you gain community interest for following year's sales also. However you choose to do it would be fine. So some people offer a one-day sale. Some start selling bins months before they arrive, and they do a pre-sale, which is something we also offer. And then coordinate a pickup date for community members after delivery. And then some, like I said, team up with other community organizations or sales that are happening in your, your local area. So transportation and delivery is included in the purchase price. So there's no additional fees that apply, no hidden fees. We do try to fill as many trucks as possible when coordinating the shipping to reduce shipping costs and keep them as low as possible for the group purchase. So the shipping is included in that price of the bin and your invoice after delivery directly. And that makes it for easy transactions. So there's no upfront cost for you for the group purchase program. And then also we do like to tell people that you can sell your bins at your own price. You don't have to sell them at the price that we give you. You can use it as a fundraiser and make a little bit off the top. You could also subsidize the bins to bring down the cost for community members so that it's a little bit lower for them. So it's totally however you want to run your sale, that's how it would work. So just a little bit about kind of the shift of time since, the pandemic in 2020. People are more concerned about the environment. People are more concerned about themselves. Self-sustaining has been huge, and gardening, thrifting, repurposing, and the fact that people are home more often, working remotely has definitely shifted a lot of people's perspectives. So we have decided that more gardening and being self-sufficient equals more composting. This is just kind of our fun, conclusion there. But it's true. We have noticed it in our data also that since the pandemic happened, we've had more interest. Since the pandemic, compost conversations have broadened. There was a webinar, Composting at Home with ILSR in May 2020 that had over 1,300 participants. We saw a spike in interest in our own group purchase program, and most of our communities did sell out of their bins that year, which was crazy. And then this graph here is just showing the bin purchasing trends since we've started. So in the beginning of our bin sale, interest was initially gained in the counties surrounding us locally. So Portage, Adams, Marathon, Wapaka, and Wood County, Wisconsin. And then starting in 2009, the bin program expanded to counties across the state of Wisconsin. So we added Sauk County, Outagamie, Milwaukee, some bigger county names there for our bin program. And in 2018, the program expanded outside of Wisconsin. And then in 2020, we expanded outside of the Midwest. So we were calling it the Midwest Group Purchase Program, and now we are nationwide, which is amazing. So we are continuing to sell our bins to communities across the country, including in Iowa and West Virginia. And this year, we've also gained some interest from conservation districts in Wyoming. So that's really exciting for us. And the number of bins sold each year is also on the rise. So we've worked with RAM since 2017, and we've got some pretty awesome data from them about their compost bin sales. So this just kind of shows you their data since the start. And since 2017, about 6,000 compost bins were sold in Minnesota, partnering with over 17 different communities across the state. And in 2022, although we did sell a little less bins than the last 2 years, we still had more communities participate in Minnesota than ever before at 12 different communities. So this is our pre-sale option page. I'm going to talk to you guys about our option there. It is a limited option. We only offer it to so many communities just because it is a lot of extra work for us. And we're only a small team here at Recycling Connections. But we do set up an online store for communities to allow the customers to purchase a bin for their local sale. So if you wanted to do a pre-sale option with us, we would accept your online payments for you, send a final report with all the customer information prior to delivery of bins so that it makes it easier for your pickup date and whatnot. And we also offer a community compost bin guide to provide best practices for hosting a community bin sales program. And we do offer a webinar for partnering communities if requested also. So if a pre-sale is something that you would be interested in offering to your community, ask yourself, are you able to run a sale as a governmental entity? If not, maybe the best case scenario would be to contract with like a fiscal agent or nonprofit org to coordinate your sale for you. So even if it's not us, ask, is there a composter in your area that could help facilitate this for you? Or is there any other organization that you could contract with and help fund to do this type of work for you? And this is just kind of a web page showing how our pre-sale kind of would look like on our website. We would create a separate page for you on our website that you could then, market to your community and have them sign up online. So for Ram's sale, this is just some photos. They've got all their bins laid out for community members to come pick up on their pickup day event. So that's what that looks like. And then this is the pickup day event at the Village of Weston in Wisconsin. So the pre-sale option that they chose with us allowed them for ease of process by organizing their pre-labeled bins and pails with names on them for community members ahead of time. This is somebody who's definitely very organized, and they went all the way to, have everybody's names on their bins and pails ready for pickup. So. And then this is the Marathon County Solid Waste Department in Wisconsin, their pickup day event. Their pre-sale allowed for ease of flow and traffic by organizing community members' bins and pails effectively with a sign up. So an online setup ahead of time for limited time slots for them to pick up items on a specific date. And then those who couldn't pick up their items had to arrange for pickup at the Solid Waste Department office at a later date and time. And this is our lovely Recycling Connections trailer, just showing you we fit 40 bins inside here, and we probably could have fit more if we really tried. And then we also do offer kitchen catcher compost pails. This is something that's a little bit newer to us, but we are expanding in this and have seen a lot of interest gained in this. So it is a great additional tool to sell to community members to make composting more attractive and more accessible. So this is like your tool to compost for people who are just like, no idea, they've never done it and they want it to be easy. So if this is something you're interested in for your community, we have done direct pail shipments, such as to like Otter Tail County in Minnesota, or we could also ship them from Recycling Connections from our office with additional shipping costs. The pails are $19 per pail. And like I said, with the bins, you can up price if you want to for a fundraiser, or you can subsidize it to make it a lower price for your community members. So either way, I absolutely love my pail. I use it every day, and it's amazing because it doesn't get that stuff, like gook on the inside that sticks in there. It's like that shiny stainless steel, so it cleans easily, doesn't hold odor, and it's got a really nice pail handle on it, so it's easy to bring out to your compost pile. We also offer additional education and support for you if you are wanting it. You don't have to use what we give, but we do offer news releases, ads, flyers that you can download and modify as you need. And this is free of charge when you join the program, no additional charges. We try not to use any like Adobe products that, people can't use. Some people don't have access to those things, we try to use software that's easy for everyone to use without difficulty or need for certain software. We do offer a spring webinar every year that talks about the basics of backyard composting. So you can, hands-free, just have people watch that. And we also offer a compost cookbook, so you don't have to be the expert on composting. So this is something that's really great for community members to have the support they need right at their hand. This is a testimonial from Otter Tail County Solid Waste Department in Minnesota. I think this data was collected over 3 months' time. This was from our 2022 sale just this past year. And she was sharing this amazing data that talks about having community members at over 11,000 pails of food scraps collected, and put in compost bins, and estimated to be about 40,000 pounds kept out of the garbage. So a really cool way that, you can show you're making a huge impact in your community by diverting that food waste out of the landfill. So just like to share that. I have to go back. Sorry. I wanted to take another look at that. That's a great testimonial. This is a screenshot of our website. So if you are interested in joining the 2023 sale, next step would be to fill out our Google order form. It's right on the top of our website here. And I will see it right away when you submit that. And all you have to do is put a projection of like the number of pallets you're wanting for your community. It's sort of just an estimate. We can always finalize it, later on. Our final orders are due by January 31st. So we just try to, have communities submit it before then. That would be great. And feel free to check out our website. We have plenty more information about our compost bin group purchase program. We've got a 2-page guide, and we have a full 5-page program guide on it as well on our website. And if you have any questions, I'm here to help. Any specific questions or needs you might have. And just happy to try to help communities keep food waste out of landfill. That's our main goal here with this program. So I appreciate all of you for joining and watching, and be happy to answer any questions you have here now or later.
I have a question.
Yeah.
It was recommended that when the shipment arrives, that you check it over, that everything, that all the pieces are there and that they work properly.
Mm-hmm.
We anticipate that our pallets will be moved to, well, they're delivered to the fairgrounds in Fond du Lac, then they'll be moved to another building.
Okay.
And then moved to where they will be picked up. But I just wondering how often there are problems. If we weren't able to check them when they arrive. And I guess the related question is, how do they come on the pallets? I assume they're not packaged separately, but
I think there's a photo in here. Oh, maybe not. I don't have a photo in there. They would come on pallets, so you would need at least, like, at the very minimum, a forklift to get it off of the truck. They try to have people having oh my gosh, I'm losing my train of thought, but where they back up the trailer. What's it called? A loading dock.
Loading dock.
Yeah, so they try to, we try to say if you could have a loading dock, that's great. But if not, a forklift will suffice. So they do come on pallets, and they would be wrapped kind of similar to this. Or they're stacked in a, Taylor, you have any insight?
I was just gonna say they're normally like in a Gaylord box on top of the pallet, at least when we get them.
Yours were. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
and then that is like shrink wrapped, I think, too.
Thank you,
so
Taylor.
18 pallets are wrapped together. Is that what you're saying?
Taylor, did you say it was 18?
Yeah. I'm trying to think how many like are in one box on a pallet from when we normally six, yeah.
Isn't
6
it
in a
3?
Gaylord.
Yeah.
Yep, that sounds right, Megan.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and yeah, if you do have any missing parts or if there's anything broken, if you just let us know right away, then we can either have the manufacturer direct ship those replacement parts to you. Doesn't happen that often, but if it did, that's what we would do. So yeah. Does that answer your question, Farrell?
Well, so I guess I was anticipating, rather than taking them apart in the place where they will not be picked up, that there be enough of us that are on the committee that are ordering our own composter. So if there were a problem with some, we could wait for ours to be corrected. But I'm assuming it doesn't happen too much. Is that correct?
Like damages, you mean?
Yes, the pieces are not working.
Yeah, that doesn't happen too often
Okay.
at all, no. Our manufacturers are really good about checking things over before they leave, and yeah, it's pretty rare that it does happen.
Okay. And you talk about a cookbook
Yeah.
that comes with, that does come with each one?
Yep, it's kind of a how-to guide for people on recycling. It's like a little pamphlet, and it just describes, methods and trials and errors. So if it's not going right for you, what to,
Okay.
change, that kind of thing. And where's the best place to put your compost pile. It goes through all that kind of stuff.
And the video that's on your website, is it okay to refer people to that? to
Definitely.
watch?
Yeah, definitely. Yes. Thank you.
Mhm.
Does anybody else have any other questions or?
I think my question was just answered in the last one, but I want to confirm. It's
Okay.
18 compost bins to a pallet with a minimum order of 3. So that totals 54 bins is the minimum order.
Yes.
Thank you.
I have a question too. So you need to know the total number that we would like to order by the end of January.
Mhm.
What if we have like this huge interest? Is there any way to add a few more after January?
It could be possible depending on our manufacturers. I guess like they only do one sort of run of these for us specifically. So if it's not like a crazy amount more, sometimes it is possible to add things last minute. We try to stay away from it as much as we can, but sometimes it can be possible.
Got it. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah,
It sounds like a great program.
thank you. Yeah, we love it.
Mhm. You said that you've been using this particular bin for 25 years. Are some of those still in use from 25 years ago?
I believe so. I think Susan's on. Susan, can you attest to that? She's our program director.
Yes, I can. Mine has been in production for 20 years. So that is still in my backyard and doing really well. It's functioning great, and a little chewing here and there from critters over time, but the lid lock and everything has been working great. So
Great.
doesn't degrade.
Thanks.
I've been with Wapaka County for 5 years now, and we've been selling them, I think, since Recycling Connection started offering them. And the only complaints I've ever gotten is like if in a storm someone's lid like flew off and broke. That's the only time I've ever had anyone come in to say they needed a replacement part. So just my 2 cents.
We do offer like some of the replacement parts right off of our website where you can order them on there, like clips and things for the size.
Yeah.
So-
Yep. So now I order a couple extra lids just to have on hand, but like I think this only happened maybe 3 or 4 times. So not super common. And like I said, everyone has always told me it's like, oh, I forgot to latch it and we had a windstorm and it blew off and I can't find it or it broke or something like that.
Yeah, right. And we had what, one bear, Susan, right?
It's not bear proof. That's all I can say about that.
All right. Does anybody else have any other questions? Carol?
I have one more question. This is
Oh,
Evan
Evan.
over
Hi.
in Winnebago County. Hi. But if we already filled out the Google form for an order, is that all we have to do until you reach out to us, or is there any?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, pretty much. Yep. And if you
Sounds
wanted
good.
to add to it or change it, we can always do that too.
Great. Okay.
No, I'll be confirming with all the communities before we make our final order to confirm. So
If we're doing this for the first time, do you recommend offering the buckets?
I mean, I think it depends on your organization's capacity or, I guess I don't really know how else to put this, but if you financially see yourselves in a place where you can do that, I definitely think it's a great tool for communities. And we've seen a lot of interest in this pail. I think it's amazing. it's basically like the tool that goes hand in hand with it. So a lot of people we've seen, especially locally, is we have seen a lot of people who purchase a bin and a pail together. So a lot of people who do pre-sales, they'll just go online, they'll click, I want one bin, one pail, and they're set. So it's a great thing to offer for sure.
Mhm.
Your tool for composting. Make it accessible and they will compost. It's an icky thing. People don't like to do it, you know, it can be gross, right? That's the truth, but we try to make it less icky as possible.
Mhm.
All right, any other questions?
Susan, I assume you are located in Wisconsin as well.
I am, yeah, yep.
Okay,
So,
that's a pretty good representative winter compared to Iowa. So just wondering in terms of how it holds up during the winter season.
yeah, it really does hold up very well in the winter as well. And, you know, I have had my lid, I've had to pick up and find in a yard and I forgot to latch it, you know, it's simple things like that. I usually find it, and that is the one piece, but there is a latch on it. So as long as it's latched on, you know, it's just operator error if you didn't have that latch per se, but yeah, it functions great. You know, we've done a comparison of any bin that comes out. We kind of take a look at it. We've tested a lot of these backyard bins, and our mission is really to get people to compost, be successful, divert as much food waste so we're not having to haul it for diverting from the landfill. We just love this bin. That's just the bottom line, and have this great relationship with the manufacturer who's willing to continually offer it to the public. So yeah, I think it's great.
All right. Anything else? Yeah, I can stop sharing my screen, I suppose.
Mhm.
And I can stop recording. If anybody wasn't able to make it, I'm happy to share this with